Hey everybody, Jazz here for week 8. Um, in this week, we'll be looking at internal controls, and there's a lot of theory, a lot of I think useful managerial information that you'll find about how to set up your workplace and have the best possible structure in terms of keeping everybody honest and making sure that things are functioning at design, specifically internal controls. And you will get a chance to do a bank rec. So there will be very little actual work in this module, but a bank rec basically gives you a chance to verify your cash balance and make sure that everything is okay. So you get a chance to do that. I want to take this opportunity to go over assignment 2. This is basically the second half of assignment 1, right? The sequel. And again, it's worth 10%. I find that students are not as anxious or as struggling with this assignment. Um, yeah, because by this time they have more of an idea of what accounting is. So that's not to say that it's easy. It still has its challenges, of course. So the first um, question here it relates to um, inventory valuation, and we looked at a couple of methods we will try: the first in, first out, FIFO, and also the weighted average cost method. And the way I usually recommend students to do these questions is just to add some columns, right? So you can do this however you like. You can do it in Excel. I actually recommend that, or you can do it on paper, right? And submit the scanned copies of your work, or even Word, right? Whatever works for you. But you can add some columns alongside it. Just keep track of what the inventory level is and also keep track of what the value is. And you can kind of see that in the examples in the chapter there. So it asks you for the moving weighted average numbers, right? For specific transactions, what the cost of goods sold. It asks you for ending inventory and the expense for the entire month, right? And then you go into the FIFO method, same idea, right? It's actually not explicitly asking you for COGS, but you need to figure that out as part of your journal entry. So, not a very difficult question to start. And then the next one we have from the last week, which is week 7. And you can see here, you're basically going through that. Oh, sorry. This one is actually the bank rec, right? So this is from this week, and you'll be completing a bank rec. So just be careful here. We have the cash payments and the cash balance in different parts, right? So what you want to do is make sure you update the cash balance with the cash payments. And then you can go through the process of doing a bank rec. You have the bank statement over here, and then you can do the September 30th bank rec. And the idea is basically to reconcile any differences, make sure you can explain any differences. And then the journal entries, right? Everything that's not been updated in the book, you want to go back and make journal entries. So the bank side, hopefully, can sort itself out if there's no mistakes, or you have to contact them. But from the book side, definitely, you want to update your records. And then we have the account receivable. This is from the next week. I won't go into too much detail here, but basically the estimation system. You make an allowance, and then you write off amounts as you go, right? So you're gonna get some practice with that. There'll be a depreciation question, depreciation, amortization, interchangeable words, right? Units of production, how much you use this truck in this case, and double declining balance, right? So you get some. This question gets a little bit tricky with revised depreciation, but don't worry too much about it. Just give it your best shot. Like I said, it's only worth 10%. It's hard to get 10 out of 10, but it's easier to get 8 or 9, which is pretty good. And the last question, of course, is payroll. This is from week 11, and so you get a chance to work on payroll. The one hint I will give you is the last question here said the entire month. So you want to make sure that you take 2 cycles into account there. All right. See you next week.